Welcome to the brilliant, beautiful, outstanding participants of Black Doctoral Network. I am Monique Bury-Ballard, your moderator for today, Wednesday, November 13th, 2024. And let me share with you, family, we are in for a treat today. You don't have to take my word for it, though. In a moment, I am going to share a commercial about our workshop facilitator today, Dr. Joanna Andrews Adlam. With that being said, let's hear her in her own words now.
Good day, everyone. I am Dr. Joanna Andrews Adlam, the founder and CEO of Excellence. Please join me on Wednesday, November 13th at 5 p.m. Eastern for my workshop, Your Pathway to a Meaningful and Fulfilling Career for BDN's Fall Workshop Series. Have you obtained an advanced degree or reached a pinnacle of success and this is not quite what you expected? Are you feeling burned out, undervalued, frustrated, and stuck at a crossroads that feels like a crisis in your career? Maybe you've checked all of the boxes on society's list and worked really hard to get to where you are, but you have this constant feeling that there must be a more fulfilling career path for you. Well, if you don't know the next steps to take, this workshop is for you. In this interactive workshop, you will explore your current expectations about your professional journey and learn how to let go of artificial expectations that no longer serve you. With this new awareness and insight, you will be empowered to identify what is most important for you to have meaningful and fulfilling experiences in your career using an engaging exercise to discover your career values. You will then gain the clarity you need to design an authentic path toward a meaningful and fulfilling career you are passionate about. Building on this transformative experience, you will identify the creative action you will take to begin the next steps of your professional journey aligned with your values. You will also receive the support and resources you need to take consistent action towards your professional goals. Please don't miss this opportunity for connection, guidance, and inspiration on your journey. Register for my exciting and informative workshop today at blackphdnetwork.org/events. I look forward to connecting with you and providing you with the support you need on November 13th.
Thank you so much, family, for your attention with that. And I am so impressed with our facilitator today. I got to share with you, along my journey with the Black Doctoral Network, I've met many people who have advanced degrees, strong expertise, and one of the illuminators that highlight energy is here with us today. Informally, I'll share with you that Dr. Joanna Andrews Adlam has a PhD and is a postdoc from disciplines with public health, with concentration in social and behavioral health from UNLV, Go Rebels, and Sharks. In 2020, she obtained her doctorate degree in 3 years and completed the dissertation in only 1 year. She's a double alum from Hofstra University and, identical to many of us here, is a first gen. From her own words in a conversation with her, she shared that education is important from not only the immigrant perspective, but also as a first-gen college student, as a first-gen graduate, and as a U.S. native. I'm sure many of us can attest to similar connections. We also see that Dr. Andrews Adlam has education in corporate healthcare expertise and research, which inspired her to pursue the higher value of learning. She's been teaching since 2015 and is a course developer with foci in health disparities, public health, and has served on the East Coast as well as the Western state areas. A value add, she also believes that entrepreneurship has augmented her education with coaching, consulting, as well as academic leadership for the whole student. She's a BDN member, also a member of the American Public Health Association, and multiple honor societies, including Phi Kappa Phi, the Delta Omega Honor Society in Public Health, and gives value from Eta Sigma Gamma Honor Society. A little bit more about her. In 2021, she founded Promexcellence in order to work with clients in real time. The reason why is because while research offers theoretical substance, the changes within academia helped her to birth her own mindful and meaningful career path. She infuses creativity with intellect and passion. In my words, I'd say she's a dynamic energy illuminator to help people lead with head and heart. In her words, though, she empowers, inspires, and enlightens. Enough about my feelings about her. Here's her official bio. Dr. Joanna Andrews Atlam is the founder and CEO of Promexcellence, a coaching and consulting company which is committed to designing what excellence looks like for professionals in their careers and their lives, as well as for students in higher education and organizations and institutions working in public health, research, or programs. She began her entrepreneurial journey in 2021, providing career and life coaching services as well as academic and public health consulting services to students and professionals through Promexcellence. Dr. Joanna has over 14 years of experience conducting interdisciplinary research studies and leading diverse research teams at the academic and health system levels. She's a certified professional coactive coach, also known as CPCC, from the Coactive Training Institute, and is an associate certified life coach, or ACC, from the International Coaching Federation. Dr. Joanna received her PhD in public health with a concentration in social and behavioral health from the School of Public Health at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and she completed her doctoral training in the Center for Health Disparities Research at UNLV. Without further ado, please welcome Dr. Joanna Andrews Atlam.
Thank you so much, Monique, for that introduction. I'm grateful. Thank you. So I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully everyone is seeing this okay. All right, good evening, everyone. I'm so excited to be with you all today to discuss your pathway to a meaningful and fulfilling career. So as Monique just mentioned, I'm Dr. Joanna Andrews Atlam, and I am the founder and CEO of Promexcellence. So my intention over the next 75 minutes or so is to help you learn how to experience more meaning in your careers and gain the clarity that you need on your next step so that you are energized and you are fulfilled on your personal and professional journeys. So since this is an interactive workshop, we'll be working on an exercise during our time together. So Monique will drop the worksheet in the chat so that you all can download the exercise. This is a fillable PDF form, so you can type directly on the worksheet. However, please feel free to jot down your responses in a notebook if that's more convenient for you. All right, to get us started today, I'm just going to share a little bit more about me and my company. Again, I am Dr. Joanna Andrews Atlam, the founder and CEO of Promexcellence. So I am also a certified career and life coach, as well as an academic and public health consultant. My background is in public health with over 14 years of experience conducting interdisciplinary research studies and leading diverse research teams at the academic and the health system levels at institutions like Hofstra University, Northwell Health, and the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. So Promexcellence is a coaching and consulting company committed to designing what excellence looks like for professionals in their careers and lives, students in higher ed, and organizations and institutions working in public health research or programs. So I founded Promexcellence in 2021 to help students and professionals achieve their vision of excellence on their personal, professional, and academic journeys. And I do this by offering an extensive list of virtual coaching and consulting services. So, my career and life coaching services help professionals design a meaningful and rewarding career and life path aligned with their purpose and values. So, we will be talking about that today. We'll be focused on your careers. My academic consulting services and From Excellence Academy help students in higher ed with their academic performance, personal skill building, and completing their thesis and dissertation projects. My public health consulting services support organizations and institutions with social and behavioral health research initiatives and program development efforts. And finally, like today, I host various workshops on personal, professional, and academic development topics. So you can visit promexcellence.com to learn more about my comprehensive services, or you can simply reach out to me directly via email, and my email is also listed on the slide. So now that you know a little bit more about me, let's talk about what you can expect from today's workshop. So first, we're going to discuss some current employee experiences with meaning and fulfillment in their roles. I will then share a little about my story of navigating a crossroads in my career. Next, we'll talk about a powerful concept I developed called artificial expectations. That discussion will lead us into career values and an associated books of values exercise that was just dropped in the chat. Finally, I will leave you all with several resources to access the support you need to take consistent action on your journey. And I would also reserve some time at the end of the workshop for any questions that you may have. Okay, so let's get started. So have you ever wondered how you could experience more meaning in your career? You know, maybe you've reached a pinnacle of success and this is not quite what you've expected. Or, you know, as a scholar, maybe you've checked all of the boxes on society's quote unquote list and worked really hard to get to where you are. But maybe you have this persistent and constant feeling that there must be a more fulfilling path for you. When you are not in isolation, because many other professionals are feeling the same exact way. According to Zippier's research, meaningfulness was cited as the second highest factor for job satisfaction in 2023. Also in this research, only 20% of Americans describe themselves as being truly passionate about their work. Additionally, in a Flex Job survey of over 2,600 working professionals, 58% of workers were trying to make a career change, and 40% of them indicated more meaning or fulfillment as a reason for this transition in 2023. In 2022, Gallup found that the areas of engagement and culture and well-being and work-life balance made up 66% of the total reasons employees left their employer. So regarding engagement and culture, some of those issues that were cited were diversity, equity, or inclusion issues. My values did not align with the company's mission and values, workplace culture, unrealistic job expectations and responsibilities. And regarding well-being and work-life balance, some of the issues cited were work-life balance, work schedule, physical working conditions, and flexibility to work remotely at least some of the time. So these issues all relate to meaningful and fulfilling experiences and roles at work. So, with more than half of higher ed faculty and staff considering leaving their job due to burnout, increased workload, and stress, it's critically important for us to cultivate more meaningful, fulfilling, and energizing experiences at work that promote well being. And I know that many of you may be feeling that this is important as well. Well, about 3 years ago, I found myself stuck at this crossroads too, trying to figure out a more meaningful, fulfilling, and energizing path for me. You know, after years of working diligently to accomplish my professional and academic goals, saying yes to every request, completing my PhD, and sacrificing my well being along the way, I felt really burned out and like I had nothing else left to give. And I had to have some really tough conversations with myself. And I realized that I just wanted to simply wake up every morning and enjoy the work that I did in the world. You know, it was important for me to help people and to make a positive and meaningful impact. So I trained to become a certified professional coach and brought together all of my experiences to start my own coaching and consulting business in 2021. So now I have the opportunity to help other accomplished professionals gain the clarity and the confidence that they need to design a meaningful and fulfilling career path aligned with their purpose and their values. As a result of my journey, coupled with my skills and training as a certified coach, I curated a transformative career coaching program that I have been using with accomplished professionals for the past 2 years now. So that is why I'm so passionate about helping you on this unique and sacred journey. So, do you have that desire to get off autopilot and to bring more of your authentic self, your life purpose, and your values into your work, but you don't quite know where to start? Throughout my journey, the most important lesson that I've learned was that I had a lot of artificial expectations and I could not consciously move forward on my journey without letting them go one by one. And this is a very important part of your journey to designing a meaningful and fulfilling career path. So let's talk about why. So, as we know, expectations carry a heavy burden. They are these strong beliefs that we've adopted from others about what should happen in our very own lives. A lot of these beliefs often begin in childhood and they impact the way that we perceive ourselves in the world around us. They profoundly influence our decisions and how we navigate life. And the cumulative impacts of expectations from family, friends, and society, they begin to diminish our autonomy, and it's rapidly leading to this unconscious state of being on autopilot. And the first step in consciously and courageously disrupting this routine way of thinking and taking action is to shine the light on all of these artificial expectations that no longer serve you. So, as the picture illustrates, I like to use the metaphor that artificial expectations are like books from others, such as family, close friends, a spouse, or society that we are carrying on our backs. Each book weighs down our book bag and has a significant impact on our career decisions. And we often find ourselves at a crossroads, just like the picture depicts, trying to decide if we should continue to walk the path laid out for us by others and do what we think we should be doing, or if it is time to center this journey on what is most important to us from an authentic place. So let's talk about some examples of artificial expectations so that we can start to shine the light on them. And I would like to open up this discussion to you all as well. So, some examples of artificial expectations may be you are a faculty member, so work life balance is unattainable, or you are an administrator, so burnout is normal and expected. It's what you signed up for. Or maybe as a researcher, you can't bring your authentic self to work. Or maybe you have to stay in a career or choose a certain career path based on the degrees and the training that you received. Maybe, you have to obtain all of your degrees by a certain age. Or maybe you have to put money first when choosing a career. So, what are some other examples of artificial expectations? You can drop them in the chat or feel free to say it out loud. I'm curious what's coming up for you all.
Dr. Andrews Atlan, while our participants are thinking and processing on these hard-hitting questions, just scanning the chat above, our participants are saying this is an excellent workshop. Thank you for sharing. Others are highlighting how this is information packed and they often hear about work-life balance and feel stuck oftentimes, but they are hopeful that your wisdom is going to show us the light. We also see that one of our participants are sharing that as a nursing faculty, putting the needs of students before our own in the way that we do when we care for patients. Feel free to unmute and share with us, Dr. Centauri, more of what you mean.
So I think it's natural as nurses, that we are accustomed to caring for people in need. We know how to prioritize someone else for 12 hours, weekends, nights, holidays, whatever that is. And when we become faculty, no one really teaches you, not that you need to turn that off, but how to create those boundaries with your students, with senior leadership, to just be healthy, to have some sort of work-life balance. The students are going to have needs 24/7, weekends, holidays as well. But I think that, at least for me personally, I didn't really have good mentoring when I started in a faculty role. So it really just kind of became, oh, this is the expectation. I need to be available in the same way that I was for patients. And it's very, very difficult. Learned some good lessons along the way. But, we're all still a work in progress.
Thank you so much for sharing, Christina. This is very important what you shared. And I'm so glad that you took a moment to shine the light on this now, right? So, this is a really heavy expectation that you just mentioned. So, imagine how this is impacting your career decisions and how you're showing up as faculty. And you've already outlined some of those ways, trying now to create boundaries. I didn't have good mentorship, right? So now I'm learning, good lessons along the way. And what's really important about balance too, guys, is that not everything needs to be 50-50 all the time, but balance is what's needed in the moment. So this week, as a nursing faculty member, maybe I need to prioritize my self-care this week. Maybe there's a heavy load for me that's happening. That's not saying that I'm dropping the ball with my students, but in this week, balance looks like I just need to love on me a little bit more. And when we start to normalize this, conversations around what balance looks like so that we are prioritizing our health, mental, physical, emotional, everything in a holistic way, then we are truly showing up as our best selves, and also for our students as well. So we're not pouring from an empty cup. I always like to say you're operating from the overflow. So when we are in a space of overflow, I have everything that I need, but what I'm giving to you is from the excess, right? So all my self-care practices, everything that I'm doing to take care of me is allowing me to be in that overflow. So I'm showing up for you while not, pouring from an empty cup. So thank you so much for starting off the discussion, Christina. I so appreciate your comment. I'm curious if anyone else has an artificial expectation that's present for them that they want to share.
I'll share one. I noticed that with the pracademics of being an educator and a professional in academia, plus wanting to heal and receiving therapy, I sometimes should myself, that I should cater to all 200 of my students, that I should skip lunch, even, that I should put my needs on the back burner. Would you offer some insight, please, Dr. Andrews Atlam, about the case of the shoulds and artificial expectations?
Oh, that is the core of artificial expectations, right? Having that negative self-talk, or in my coach training, what we like to call the saboteur voice, right? The shoulds, I should be doing this, or this is what someone's expecting of me, or maybe I should skip lunch. But what I'd like to ask you, Monique, is what's the cost of that, right? So when I'm consistently not taking care of myself and I'm putting others' needs before my own, how great of a faculty member am I? How great of a mom or partner or daughter or friend am I when I am consistently putting others' needs before myself? So, a really great way to start to challenge that negative self talk is what we're doing right now. So, we're shining the light on it. All right, I hear you. However, that is not me. So, making those distinctions. I hear the negative self talk. What I'm going to choose to do in this moment is really center in what I know to be true. I know that I have to take care of myself. I know that when I take a lunch break, I'm going to be even better the next half of the day. I know when I take my weekends off, right? Like I can be that light that I am to my students. I can be on purpose in my work. Like that's the truth. So taking a moment to ground yourself in what you know to be true allows you to quiet that saboteur voice. And it doesn't always go away. This is life. But here's healthy ways that we can manage that. So I hope that offers you some insight. Yes. So glad to hear that. All right. So now that we've taken a moment to shine the light on those artificial expectations, you have now made a conscious and powerful decision to let go of those artificial expectations that no longer serve you. It is a process, but this is the beginning. This is the first step, right? So, what you've done now is that you've created space, right, in that backpack to authentically declare what is it that you want to say yes to and what you want to say no to as you embark on this exciting new journey of designing a meaningful and fulfilling career. So, a great place to start is to get clear on your career values. So, artificial expectations, they bring you success. We know about that path. We've been down that path. We've been talking about that path. So, they bring you success, but your values bring you a meaningful and fulfilling career path without compromising your health and well being. So let's take a moment to get clear on your career values. So values are the essence of your existence. They are what I like to call that, that bright light that holds what is most important and meaningful for you in a fulfilling career. And this bright light will lead you out of what may feel like the darkness of difficult decisions that may be emerging as you're growing in your career, or maybe even beginning the transition to a new one. So, clarifying your values is an integral part of your journey to designing a fulfilling career. And what you want to do now is recognize and embrace and entrust your inner wisdom to identify what is most important to you from an authentic place, not rooted in artificial expectations. So now that you've taken all of those artificial expectations off your back, we will do an exercise to help you consciously move forward on your meaningful and fulfilling career path. So what we want to do right now is fill our backpacks with our books of values. And these are going to be books that we hold dear to our hearts on our journey. So I'm going to ask you guys to pull out your books of values exercise that Monique dropped in the chat. So hopefully you all had a chance to download it at this point. And what we're going to do is go to page 1 on the worksheet. And we're going to start off with steps 1 and 2 in the worksheet. So step number 1 is to review that sample list of words that may represent career values for you in the table. So I find that it's helpful when I provide some words just to spark some inspiration. So maybe some of these words resonate with you. Maybe there's another word that comes up for you based on this list. But any words that stand out to you, just go ahead and circle them. Any words that are standing out to you now about what's most important for you in your career. And then after you've circled, those words that stand out to you in step 2, I like for you to take a moment to pick your top 10 career values from those words that you circled in step 1, and please place them in the list. And then I would love for some of you to share. So I'll give you about 5 minutes or so to work on steps 1 and 2. But I do want to check in and see if anyone has any questions about what we're doing. All right, looks like everyone's good. So I'm going to give you all about 5 minutes to work on steps 1 and 2, and then we'll come back and I would love to have some shares if that's okay with you guys. All right. So I'm just checking in. Hopefully, you all have had a chance to go through step one and two. Maybe you're wrapping up step two at this point. But I am curious if anyone's willing to share, how is it identifying 10 career values? So going from that initial list and seeing what stands out to you, maybe there were other words that came up for you. I'm just curious, what was it like? All right, taking a moment to think, out of all of these words, what are most important to me? So I would love to hear some shares from the group.
I don't mind sharing.
Thank you, Monique.
Sure. Uh, It was very hard for me to narrow down to 10. Like a child in a candy store, each one looked unique and a fun facet to explain my feelings. So thank you for compiling that list.
Yeah, thank
Sure. A few that jumped out to me. One was vulnerable.
you.
Oftentimes, being a leader, which is another word on my top 10 list, is that I need to remain stoic and strong and not show my human side. That is another should that I am learning to eradicate. And if I am looking at one of the books that I want to carry with me, it's being vulnerable.
Ooh, we know as a leader, modeling that vulnerability is really strength. And it's like, well, I can identify, what I'm struggling with or what I need the group support with. And, make sure you're just a more accessible and relatable leader, and like I said, modeling that, it just gives everyone that you are leading or who may be in your team the permission to do the same. So yeah, it creates a more collaborative and open environment. Thank you for sharing that, Monique. Rita, it was enlightening and sobering. I realized there are many words that can be applicable. Yes, I'm so glad that it was enlightening for you. And yes, yes, yes. Now that we start to think about this is something that we don't always necessarily think about, our career values and what's most important for us. And as many of us are accomplished professionals, right? And we're scholars and we have multiple degrees and we are in high ranking positions, and a lot of the times we're on autopilot and we don't take that moment to step back and think about, well, what is it that I want? What's important to me? So to now start to disrupt, this being on autopilot and this routine way of thinking and taking action, it's wait a second, let me really ask myself, what is it that I want? Well, maybe it's balance, and that's something that I haven't been honoring this time, and that's why I'm burned out all the time. That's why I'm feeling so drained, because balance is a value of mine. But now that I know that, my actions will change. So my values are not going to start to inform my actions and how I'm showing up. So that absolutely is correct, Rita, with it being enlightening and sobering, right? And there's also a lot of words. And you were saying that too, Monique. It's like, wow, because there's like a whole new world that has opened up to us. Not saying that these words still don't apply. But what I want to start doing is having us play around with, all right, getting down to our core values, right? So now we have this beautiful list. So now let's go down to those top 10. I know that was a bit challenging, but we're having some practice around this, identifying, okay, what are my core values? Because these are the ones that we're going to put in our backpacks that's so present with us all of the time. These are non negotiables. These are values we are not compromising on. So we are getting practice and getting down to those five. So that's actually what we're going to be doing next. So I'd love for you all to turn to page 3 and we're going to go to step 3. So now that you got some practice, imagine that you could only choose 5 of these values to place in your newly clean backpack, free from artificial expectations. What would those 5 books of values be? I would love for you all to place the names of those values on the books on page 4 and score how much you are currently honoring this value in your work, with 10 being the highest and 1 being the lowest. So, for example, Monique, maybe vulnerability shows up in your backpack And right now, I would say I'm currently at a 6. So that would be your example. Like, all right, this is important to me, but here's where I'm at right now with honoring it, because here's where we start with the awareness around it. Okay, this is what's most important to me, but here is how I'm currently honoring this in my work. So I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to think about, out of that top 10 list. Here we go again. We're going to pare it down again to 5, but these are going to be our core career values that we're placing in those backpacks, the non-negotiables, what we're not compromising on. And then after that, guys, on the last page, what I'm going to ask you to do is pick one value that you like to move your school on this week. It's Wednesday, so we got 2 more days if we're counting the work week. You could bring the weekend in too. If you're feeling spicy, we're going to bring the weekend in too, okay? To experience more meaning and fulfillment in your work. What value is it? Well, maybe it is that vulnerability. Okay, I want to practice moving my score on vulnerability this week. All right, so with that being said, what is one action that you can take to increase this score and honor this value in your work? Okay, maybe with my team, I'm going to be honest this week and explain that I'm struggling with the new software that we have. That is one action that I'm going to take. And then lastly, how do you think this action will help you to begin your journey now of designing a more meaningful and fulfilling career path for yourself? So what's available to you now? What opens up to you now that you are taking this action? How will this help you on your journey as this first step, this first baby step that we're taking? So what we're doing is we're working on those 5 books of values, and then we're going to take some time with those reflection questions. So I'll give you guys about 5 minutes or so again with those, and then I'd love to get some shares with that as well. Thank you. All right. So checking in, I would love to know now that you have your 5 core career values that you put in your backpack, what is one of those values that you like to move the score on this week to experience more meaning and more fulfillment in your work? And also with that, what is one action that you can take to increase this score and really honor this value in your work, making that commitment to now bringing this to the forefront? Would anyone like to share?
Dr. Andrews Adlam, I gotta say, I am going to just interrupt everyone's thoughts and burst with how I'm feeling from this great experience. The word that I'm taking with me this week is going to be thrive. It's
Ooh,
hard for me to narrow down between knowledge, vulnerability, I'm sorry, knowledge, cultural heritage, as well as social status. All of these things are what I feel are important and the markings of a true academic. But Thrive for me was the one that I want to enhance and grow because I want to have gratitude for where I am now, give myself grace for things that I can and cannot change, and be happy with where the Creator has brought me so far. Thrive is the word for me.
love that. And I'm so grateful that you acknowledge, okay, here's the ones that, are relevant to me being an academic. But I also want to lean into thriving, gratitude, grace, being happy. Like this is what allows us to be more holistic and incorporating all aspects of ourselves, honoring all parts of ourselves throughout this journey. So yes, I can be in academia, but here's also how I'm showing up. Thrive. I want to have gratitude, grace, and be happy. Don't we all? Right? And I know there is an amen also from Christina. She got I agree with thrive. So there's others that are resonating with that word too, right? So here's where we're going to just challenge the status quo a little bit, right? Okay, yes, I'm an academic, I'm in this space, but now how can I bring more of my authentic self? How can I honor what's most important to me? And in this week, that is thriving. Love that. All right. So we got thriving, and you've given me some actions that you're going to take with Thrive. So loving that, Monique. Sending you lots of love and positive energy. You got this. Is there anyone else? Christina, I know Thrive is also your word as well. Is there anyone else that has another value that they like to move that score on this week? And I would love to know what that value is and the action that you're going to take. You can feel free to drop it in the chat or you can come off mute and say it out loud, whatever is most convenient for you.
I got to tell you, I hate to be greedy. This was such an engaging conversation. I got to say again, thank you, Dr. Andrews Adlam, for sharing this wisdom. Another one, if I'm going to adopt someone else's backpack, is going to be dependability. I
Oh,
want to remain mindful of why I do this work. Remember our why, as we say in academia. So I want to remain dependable, not only to others, but to myself. And I think that this workbook, where you're having us turn the lens upon ourselves, is having me focus on how I can grow and help me. I've done all this work to help others. Help depend on me for a change too.
love that. And I will also just, kind of flip that a bit because you said not only for others, but for me, but I'm going to be dependable to myself so that I can be dependable for others. So starting with me, going inward, this is remembering my why, connecting me to who I am and what's most important to me. I want to be dependable to myself. I want to be dependable to my goals. I want to be dependable to my self-care practices and all the things that are important to me that allow me to experience joy so that I can be dependable for others. Love that one. And also, I hope that I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Ope or Ope. My word is courage. I need to send some emails this week to move my project forward. And I think courage will help me get, oh, I know courage will help you get there. So I'm so glad that you brought that word into this space, courage. So this is a value of yours. And we also got this action step that you're going to take. Right. So we're going to get those emails out to move your project forward. And I know that it's going to help you to have that forward movement that you needed. So I'm so glad that, this value of yours is inspiring you to get into creative action. Right. So I love that. And anyone else, feel free to drop those action steps in the chat so that we can all hold each other accountable in the most loving way. Feel free to drop your value along with that associated action in the chat. Let's get a commitment to take those action steps. And I'm wondering if you all can feel the difference now, moving away from that really cumbersome backpack that was really heavy, filled with artificial expectations, now to filling it with our books of values. So I'm encouraging everyone to put those action steps in the chat, and I will wrap up.
While we are thinking through that, I am going to share with you some of the highlights in the chat. One comment, I'm enjoying using the books of value. These exercises and the accompanying workbook are allowing me to put pen to paper. I'm gaining more clarity with this work. Thank you, Dr. Andrews Atlam, for creating it. I also see in the chat that someone stated they appreciate the idea of the backpack of values. That image truly drives home the point of making space by either adding or removing things as needed and carrying what is needed at that moment. It helps them remain mindful that they cannot carry everything at once. You're doing great work, Dr. Andrews Atlam.
Thank you so much, Monique. I really appreciate that. I'm so grateful. All right, guys. So as you're thinking through some of those action steps, please feel free to drop those in the chat so that you can have that commitment and we can hold you all accountable in community and in the most loving way. So I know that we just touched the surface today by examining artificial expectations and taking a moment to clarify your career values. So you may be feeling like you need more support with your values and the action that you committed to take today. Well, I have a few great ways to access the support you need on your journey. So everyone attending this workshop will receive a free 30-minute career value session with me to get more support and clarity with your career values and that action step that you committed to take today. I know it's not always easy to take those first couple of steps. So I'm here to guide you and give you that support that you need. So let's keep the conversation going. I would love to connect with each of you and give you the individual support that you need. Everyone's at different places in their journeys, and I would love to just meet your needs and be responsive to that. So you can schedule a session by scanning the QR code on the screen or by clicking the link in the chat that Monique just provided. I also have the coaching program I've been referencing throughout the workshop today. And so the Excellence Lab, design a meaningful and rewarding career path aligned with your purpose and values. So this program will help you to get the clarity that you need to design the meaningful and fulfilling career that you want. So we have 5 modules, but with exciting, reflective, and inspiring exercises to empower you on your journey. And when you complete the program, you'll be clear on the next steps of your career path and have the confidence to take consistent action. You're also walking away with your individualized path to excellence plan that outlines your next steps as you're taking creative action towards your goals. So artificial expectations and career values are just 2 tools that we begin to familiarize ourselves with. We get so much deeper with these tools in my program, and there are so many other tools that I have to help you gain the clarity that you need to design that meaningful and fulfilling career path that you want. So if you do want to learn more about the program, we can chat about it during your free session, which I'm really looking forward to. And here's what one of my career coaching clients, Mercy, had to say about her time in the Excellence Lab. So after successfully earning my PhD, I still felt uneasy about my decision to remain in academia. Therefore, I enrolled in Dr. Joanna's career coaching to receive much needed assistance in reimagining an impactful and meaningful career for myself. Dr. Joanna's 6-month career coaching program helped me to align my postdoctoral research career with my purpose and values. I'm most excited about the growth I've experienced and being able to advocate for what I need from an empowered place. Thank you, Dr. Joanna, for your excellence in coaching, engaging Excellence Lab curriculum, and commitment to me during my journey. So I would look forward to providing you all with the support that you need on your journey too. I also have a free cheat sheet I created that outlines 5 ways to experience more meaning in your career. You'll also find easy to do action steps that you can try at work this week. So you can download this cheat sheet by scanning the QR code on the screen or by clicking the link in the chat that Monique just provided. Lastly, you can join my mailing list. So I discuss many of these personal and professional development topics in my bi-monthly Honoring Excellence newsletter for the ongoing encouragement, support, and guidance that you need on your journey. I also offer a lot of tangible takeaways so that you can make that connection and really apply the topic to your own journey. So you can sign up by scanning the QR code on the screen or by clicking the link in the chat that Monique just provided. So now you have a lot of tools and resources to support you as you are designing a more meaningful and fulfilling path that energizes you. So I look forward to connecting with you all during your free sessions. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. I want to express my sincere gratitude for everyone who is attending live and will be watching the recording. You could have been doing anything else at this time, but you chose to invest in your professional development. And that means the world to me. I have an abundance of gratitude for your presence, your participation, and all of your contributions today. With that being said, I am happy to answer any questions that you may have at this time.
While we are thinking of questions, Dr. Andrews Atlam, I just want to shout out what one of our participants shared in the chat. Thank you so much. I'm driving right now, but I will complete this exercise in the immediate future. This is a very helpful workshop. We also hear that others are currently doing some personal evaluations themselves, and they want to switch to a more meaningful journey. I would interpret that as that your work is timely and needed.
Oh, I'm so grateful for that comment. Thank you so much, Dr. Dietra. I really appreciate that. I'm so glad to hear that this is helpful for you on your specific journey, knowing that you're starting to think about what's a more meaningful journey for me and what that may look like for you. So I'm glad that these tools, started to get things rolling for you, your thought process and things that you may be considering. And also, when you complete the exercise, feel free to reach out to me. Hopefully you'll sign up for a time for us to connect. We could possibly go through it together. And because you're at this point where you are starting to think about, a more meaningful path for you, I think this will be a fruitful conversation based on what you find in the exercise and then also thinking about what your next steps may look like. So thank you so much for sharing.
As we are synthesizing our questions, and if it was so robust for you to process today, we have again added Dr. Andrews Atlam's contact information in the chat. With that being said, also in the chat currently is the evaluation link. Please take a moment to complete that. It takes no more than 5 minutes. While we at Black Doctoral Network are so grateful to Dr. Joanna Andrews Atlam for coming to share wisdom with us, I did want to take a moment to highlight a few more aspects of it. Feel free to continue to have your questions flow through the chat. While you're doing that, I'm going to share my screen to update you of this season's remaining sessions. What we see at Black Doctoral Network, specifically at blackphdnetwork.com/events. Repeat it, blackphdnetwork.com/events. Our season for fall 24 is not over, almost. It is going to end with the leadership of Nyla Harvey with her innovative workshop on the pros and cons of using AI to write college papers. If you haven't registered yet, please do so at blackphdnetwork.com/events. And that event is going to take place a week from today, next Wednesday, November 20th, 2024, beginning online at 5 p.m. Eastern. For this fall 2024 season, we have a total of 4 more remaining virtual workshops, including writing and productivity retreats, all held on Tuesdays. The following dates for those are going to be Tuesday, November 26th, Tuesday, December 3rd, Tuesday, December 10th, as well as Tuesday, November 26th. With that being said, this event is free for members of Black Doctoral Network, and they will be held online from 12 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What I like to say is, if you miss a BDN event live, you miss a lot. Fortunately, we have our YouTube channel that you can engage and follow us with in case you've missed content. With that being said, I'm going to yield to Dr. Joanna Andrews Adlam for final words.
Yeah, there's no other questions. I am grateful for this experience, for being with you all today. Thank you for showing up. I know that many of you are driving and in transitions, but again, you still took the opportunity to catch it live and really invest in your professional development. So I'm celebrating you for that. Thank you for showing up for yourself today. I am looking forward to connecting with you all offline. Please take advantage of our free sessions. I would love to talk about your individual journeys and see what's coming up for you so that we can start to redesign a new way of what we want our lives and our careers to look like. This is a really important time for us to really just be going inward and taking care of ourselves and doing things a lot differently now. So there is another way. I want to remind you of that. We can do things differently. We have the autonomy to do things differently, coming from now a place of artificial expectations to now, what is it that I want to authentically declare for my life moving forward? So please take advantage of our one-on-one time. I'd love to connect with you all. And again, I have an abundance of gratitude for your presence and your participation today. Thank you.
Thank you again, Dr. Andrews Adlam. And we want to thank Dr. Candace Murray, as well as our Executive Director, Dr. Deandra Taylor, for hosting the Black Doctoral Network Fall 2024 Workshop Series. I'm Monique Bury-Ballard, and I'll see you next time. Bye.